Hey guys, welcome to my channel and welcome to another video. Hope you've been well and thank you for passing by this channel. If you're here for the first time, my name is Nelly and on this channel I share professional content just to help you as a job seeker lessen the hassle and the frustration in your job search process. I also share content on other professional development topics to help you boost your career, grow in your career, and have a career of your dream. So in today's video, guys, I want to speak about some of the reasons why you could not be getting callbacks after applying for a job. So I want us to acknowledge first, before we get into this video, that some of the reasons we are not being called for interviews is really beyond our control, while others are things or factors we have control over. And those are the things that I want to speak about in this video, on those ones that you have control over, those factors or those things that you can actually improve to increase the success of your application. So I want to share some of the things that you could be doing wrong in your job search or in your job application, to be specific, and just share a bit on how you can make things better, how you can do proper applications to increase your chances of getting called for an interview. So the first thing that you could be doing wrong and that could be preventing your applications from being noticed and you not getting callbacks from employers or recruiters is applying for jobs where you do not qualify. I listen to stories of people saying that during my job search time, I could apply for over 30 jobs in a day. I had a target of applying for 10 jobs in a day. But I ask myself this question: were you qualified in all those 30 or 10 jobs that you're applying for in a day? Because that also looks like or sounds like so many jobs. So most people think that the more you apply, the more you increase your chances of getting a job, which could be true or wrong depending on what type of jobs you're applying. So no matter how much, even if you're going to apply for 100 jobs in a day, but you're not applying for jobs where you qualify, you're probably just feeling a lot of frustration and you're not gonna get a call back for an interview. So the most important thing to take note of is avoid applying for jobs where you do not qualify. Of course, I'm not saying that you should be qualified 100%, but at least meet 70 to 80% of the requirements of that job. Then you can be able to apply. So if you're applying for jobs where you completely do not qualify, even from the basics of maybe the years of experience or the academic background, a job is looking for maybe a bachelor's in economics, let's give an example, and you have a bachelor's or you have a diploma in a course that is not even in that line, for sure, that's a job that you're really not qualified for, and I advise you not to apply. Number two reason you could not be getting callbacks is when you're using the same job application tools to apply for the different jobs over and over. So the job application tools that I'm talking about here is the resume and the cover letter. So let's say you are applying for the 30 or the 10 jobs that I've given as an example in a day, but all these jobs you're using the same resume and the same cover letter to apply, then for sure there are very low chances that you'll even be called or your application will even be noticed. So as I always say, the JD of the job or the job advert should always be your reference when you're preparing to apply for a job and also when you're preparing for an interview. So when applying, you need to take the job description and align your resume and your cover letter to the requirements of that job. So for instance, you'll take your resume and align it to the responsibilities that are highlighted in that job advert. Align your cover letter to the responsibility and the skills that are listed in that job description, so that you don't apply or you don't use documents that are irrelevant to the requirements of the job to apply for a job. So if you're still using the same job application tools to apply for different jobs, then no matter how many applications you send in a day or in an hour, you're having very low chances of getting invited for an interview. Another reason, guys, is having the wrong subject in your application. So always the standard practice for sending job applications is that you should have the job that you're applying to as your subject line or on your subject line. But you find some applications will come in with different jobs because maybe it's a forwarded application that has a different job and maybe the applicant might have failed to edit. So in that case, you're really setting up yourself for failure. You need to be sure that you edit the subject line and have the correct job title. It's very, very critical. That brings me to the point that I always stress on is that before you submit that or you click that submit button to submit a job application, you got to read through your application word by word so that you ensure you did not forget to edit your subject line and all the information is correctly captured. Another reason is forwarding job application. So one application, instead of just when you're applying to a different employer or a different recruiter, creating or composing a whole new email, you keep on forwarding. And even the mistake that many people make is that you forget to remove the word forward. So someone sees your application and they can quickly tell this is someone who is either lazy or careless, because you can't keep, even if it were you, someone is forwarding an application to you, you forward and you leave it even with all the forward information so I can actually know who else have you applied to. So avoid forwarding job application. The best way is to, when you're applying for a job, just create a whole new fresh email and apply to the different recruiters composing different emails. Another reason that will be making you to get callbacks is applying to more than one employer in one email. So you're CCing different employers in your email. And I've seen this happen. Guys, I was equally shocked as some of you could be shocked here. So this was the scenario. Someone had made an application and they were boldly CCing over 50 employers in one email. And you see, when you receive that email, you can actually see company A is, this person has sent application to company A, company B, all those companies in one email. So please avoid CCing or sending one email to more than one employer. As I said, even in the previous point, just compose a new email, apply another one, apply. So apply differently to different employers and begin putting all employers that you want to apply to in one email. Another reason that could be making you to get feedback or callbacks is having inappropriate information in your job applications. So here is the example of a very common inappropriate information that people present in job applications. This is the use of a wrong or an email that does not represent who you are. So let's say like my name is Nelly and my email is something else, does not even reflect that name. So you need to have your email reflecting your official name. So don't apply with an email that does not reflect your official name or does not reflect your real name. So you see those funny emails that people use, like, I don't know what, super, those funny examples that we have on our email, some job seekers actually have on their email. Please don't use that email. You can use that email elsewhere, but don't use it to apply for a job. In job application, you need to show the highest level of seriousness, because somebody somewhere is making a decision of whether you will be the best person to help them achieve what they want to achieve through that job they're hiring from. So even if you represented the wrong email, you're having inappropriate information even in your email body line, inappropriate language, how you address the job seeker, then someone where they're sitting, they look at it and say, no, this is not the person who will help me even get this organization to where I want to get to. Another reason that could make you not get callbacks is applying for jobs after the deadline. Jobs are usually very clear, saying apply for this job on this date, maybe not before, on or not after, maybe 5 p.m. You find someone boldly seeing that job, even if you saw the advert late. If it has already closed, please don't apply. That's even the first criteria that someone will use to disqualify that application. So don't apply for jobs after the lapse of the deadline. If you've seen a job advert late, just let it pass, because you could be wasting your time going through a very long application process and surely you're not going to even be considered in the shortlist. So don't apply for jobs after the lapse of the deadline. Another point that can make you not get callbacks is failing to follow the application requirement. So this is how usually some of the requirements looks like, or the guidelines. You're told clearly that apply by sending or emailing your CV to this email. The requirement is very specific. Just your CV. You'll find somebody will attach, I don't know over how many documents, and someone will be struggling to locate the CV. Sometimes people fail to follow instructions, like you're told, indicate your expected salary on the email body. Someone applies and don't indicate the salary, or even on the subject line. Someone applies and fails to indicate the expected salary. Usually the job application instructions are very clear. Some people will just want you to share your application as one document. Put the CV, the cover letter, the academic certificates just as one document, because especially for companies that just don't use the applicant tracking systems, that just receive applications manually through the CV, it can be very hectic for someone to open like 4 attachments just as one email. That's why someone just instructs you as job applicant to share your application as one document, and you go attaching this resume differently, you're attaching your cover letter differently, your certificates, you put them differently, until you even attach the transcripts differently. It becomes so hectic to look at information when it is presented in that way. So it is always very important that you follow instructions to the letter. Another reason that is unnecessary follow-up. Some people can apply for a job and follow up unnecessarily, for sure. It is not bad to follow up. It is human nature to be anxious, to be expectant, to really want to know. But if it becomes the thing that now you do daily because you have applied for a job in this company, you even go as far as looking for these recruiters online, maybe like in their LinkedIn, inboxing them, asking them, "Hi, I applied for this job in your company." I think it displays the highest level of desperation. And someone will wonder, what's wrong with this guy? Why do they even want to? Those are some red lights. Someone will even question, why do they want to really move urgently? What's happening even in their current job? So those type of follow-up, even going to the extent of looking for, because you've seen XY person is the recruiter, so you want to go even and look for them and email them and begin texting them. And begin even sending them inboxes. It becomes overwhelming. Imagine if all the 1,000 applicants who applied for that job will be keep on texting or emailing this one person. It can be very overwhelming. So once you've applied, the instructions are usually very clear. Sometimes some organizations say, if you don't hear from us within maybe 7 or 14 days, then consider your application unsuccessful. Some job seekers will even follow up even before the end of that time that is stipulated there. So please avoid those unnecessary follow-ups. The last point for this video, guys, is having an online presence that misrepresents you. So let me give an example of someone who's applying for a job and has, let's say, maybe like a Facebook or a TikTok account, whatever, that they share content that does not reflecting who they are or what they want to be known for. So imagine if an employer or a potential employer could go to your social media platform and see such type of information. Do you think they will hire you? Or if it were you who was hiring, would you hire such a person? So if you're sharing inappropriate information, or if your social media platforms have inappropriate information, then it is time to consider pulling that down or changing what you post, so that when an employer sees that, gets your application and gets to your social media platforms, they are not turned off by the type of content that you post. So guys, that brings us to the end of this video, and thank you so much for watching. I hope that today's content has added value to you, and as always, just let me know the topics that you want me to share in the next videos in the comment section, and I'll be sure to make videos in line of what you guys want to learn about. Thank you so much. We've come to the end, and if you've not subscribed to this channel, please consider clicking that subscribe button so you get to join this community where we're all about learning and making and positioning ourselves better for the jobs that we dream of. Thank you for watching, and see you in another video.